Welcome back to the AFA Today studios. Kevin McCullough from New York. Grateful to have you with us. Every year when we get close to the holidays, there's always opportunities that the McCullough family looks at to try to make a difference in the life of the people that we can bless this holiday season. And there's different ways that everyone is involved in that. And the people here at American Family Radio have always wanted to make sure that we kept the focus on those that are in need and have the ability to impact in a way that is rather powerful. And along those lines, Operation Christmas Child fits that bill. And so April Butcher, who is with Operation Christmas Child, serving as a regional manager for volunteers, has joined us. She does it in North and South Carolina. And April, we welcome you to AFA Today. So glad to have you with us.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Talk to me a little bit about the vision of what Operation Christmas Child is intended to be and where it came from.
Absolutely. Operation Christmas Child actually started in 1990 in Wales, and within a couple of years, the founder actually contacted Franklin Graham and said, we have this incredible program where we're able to invite people to pack a shoebox gift so that children around the world can be reminded that God has not forgotten about them, that He loves them. So it actually became a part of Samaritan's Purse in 1993, and since then we've had the privilege of distributing over 100 million shoeboxes, which are 100 million opportunities to share the gospel with children around the world, to remind them that they aren't forgotten, that there's a God who loves them and wants to have a relationship with them.
In the context of that, what has been some of the stories of people that you've interacted with and how their lives have been impacted by it?
It's really incredible. I think one of the most amazing things about Operation Christmas Child to me is how God meets so many different needs, not just the children who receive the shoebox, but also the communities are impacted, the churches are impacted, our ministry partners are impacted. It's really amazing to see how God meets so many needs. And I actually had the privilege of being a part of a distribution in India recently, and I had the chance to meet a young girl named Shirpa. And she actually lives in a community that's really hostile toward the gospel. And she, in the neighboring community, attended a children's club where she received her shoebox, and she was able to enroll in Operation Christmas Child's discipleship program, which is called The Greatest Journey. And it was there that she learned about God's love for her, and she actually accepted Christ there in the children's club. So at the Greatest Journey graduation, each of our children receive a Bible that is theirs and often is the only book that they have ever owned that just belongs to them. So she received her Bible, and she started to carry it to school with her every day. So one day, Shirpa is in this government school, and she is in a class where her teacher actually forgot her teacher's manual, forgot her teacher's book, and she let the class know, and Shirpa said, hey, I have a book that you can teach from. And so Shirpa was able to actually give her the Bible, and the teacher taught from the Bible that day. So it had an impact not just on Shirpa's life, but also on the children inside that classroom. So it's really incredible. The teacher actually asked her to bring it back with her on other days. So I just think that's really exciting to see how God plants that seed with the shoebox, but then continues to grow it so that it reaches out to people around them.
When people are considering what they're going to do at Christmas this year, April, and like I said, the McCullough family, we always try to have multiple projects that we give back to. We actually give each other a little bit less. We use that money and resources towards other things. What would Operation Christmas Child like to see happen with the listeners to AFA Today?
Oh, we want to encourage everyone to pack a shoebox. If you packed one shoebox last year, pack 2 shoeboxes this year. I think the most important thing to remember is that it's not about the shoebox. The things that go inside are great, but we all know that the candy's going to be eaten and the toys are going to be played with, and they're going to break eventually, but each of those shoeboxes is a gospel opportunity. And so I just encourage listeners to remember that every shoebox you pack carries the gospel with it, and so that is what will stay. That opportunity to share the gospel with that child is the opportunity that your listeners have to be a missionary without even leaving their local community, but they get to carry the gospel around the world.
And you're going to see that. I was just on the website. There are literally dozens of places that you are servicing this year. Talk to us about some of the different types of projects that these shoeboxes might end up at.
We have the privilege to partner with with about 90 countries each year, which is just an incredible privilege. We get to partner with, in each country where we send shoeboxes, we have national leadership teams, and these are our local volunteers who just have an incredible desire, a passion that the Lord has given them to reach out to the children in their own community, in their own country, to take the gospel to them. So we are able to partner with schools in some countries. We're able to partner with churches, and we've had the privilege of hearing about tremendous church growth because of shoeboxes. We have the privilege of partnering with children's clubs, just as I shared in India, and really God is using so many different arenas to take these shoeboxes with these local partners into some places where the gospel has been closed out for so long. But we know a gift really can be a key to opening the door to being able to share the gospel.
It does. Now describe, walk us through the entire process so people that are listening and hearing this only for the first time understand exactly what they do. How do they register and sign up for filling a shoebox?
Oh, I love it. I love to share with people how they can be involved. The cool thing is they don't even have to register. All you have to do, you find a shoebox of average size. You can even use those plastic shoeboxes that you can get from the dollar store or from any store. You fill that with anything that you think a child might enjoy. School supplies are so vital. We hear stories continually from our local partners of children who actually aren't able to go to school because they can't afford school supplies, and the Lord provides a huge pack of pencils or a notebook within that shoebox. So all they have to do is grab a shoebox, pack it with hygiene items or school supplies or something to snuggle with. Every child wants something to just love on and snuggle with, and they drop it off at one of their local drop-off locations. And this year we have over 3,500 drop-off locations around the United States. So a really easy way to find a local one near you is you go to SamaritansPurse.org, you type in your zip code, and it'll tell you the 5 closest drop-off locations. National Collection Week actually starts on Monday, so those locations will be open from November 18th through the 25th. You drop off your shoebox. We'd love it if you pray with the people at the drop-off location over your shoebox. We also ask you to pray with your family over the shoebox. You put your boy-girl label on it, and you are good to go.
Yeah. Again, it couldn't be easier. You go to OperationChristmasChild.com and click on the big green box, and that will take you to the page where you can search for your zip code, and then that's where you take the shoebox. In fact, I'm looking up mine right now, and I'm seeing...
it's so easy.
Yeah. Let's see. They'll give me one within 50 miles of the zip code I just put in, and there it is. There's, oh my goodness, I've got dozens of them near me.
Yep.
So there you go, friends. It's so simple. OperationChristmasChild.com is the website. Operation Christmas Child, all one word, OperationChristmasChild.com. Pack the shoebox, drop it off at the local shoebox drop-off, and you can get that zip code on the website. April, let me ask you this. When you're working with these volunteers and kids and you see lives that are changed, people... They may be a little bit hesitant to think that just a shoebox full of goodies is going to make a difference. If somebody's sitting on the fence and having that doubt today, what would you say as to why they actually should pack a shoebox for the first time?
You know, it's funny. I think when I very first started to pack shoeboxes about 8 or 9 years ago, I wondered the same thing. Like, these are toys. These are just things that I picked up at the local dollar store. How can these make a difference? But it's incredible how our God takes small things like that, and he uses them to transform children's lives. And really, I think about the place in the Bible where it talks about that God's word will not return void. And when these children not only see this gift, they hear the gospel. And so it's a great correlation between Jesus is a gift that God gave us, and there's nothing that we could do to deserve that gift. These gifts this is a similar situation. Obviously, it's not as important as salvation, but there's nothing that these kids do to earn this gift. It's a free gift. It's a representation of Christ's love for them. We've seen specific instances where God has met the need of a child with exactly what they needed. If the listeners go to the website, just as you said, they also have the opportunity to hear story after testimony of people whose lives were changed because of a specific item. For example, my friend Layla, who now lives in the United States, as a young child, when she lived in Bosnia, she received a shoebox and was was upset one morning on her way to school because her shoes had holes in them. She got to school and received a shoebox, and right on top of that shoebox was a pair of shoes. It's just incredible how God meets each specific child where they are. So I just encourage your listeners, as they're praying about packing a box, that they'll remember that our God can work miracles through the little things, through everything that we lift up and dedicate to his kingdom. He can use that to bring a child to himself. So we also encourage people, that's one of the most important things they can put in a box is prayer, that they pray over that box for the child who's going to receive it, because we believe that God already knows who that child is.
Yeah. And he has a way of working in ways when we can't explain it. April Butcher, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it. I'm going to direct people more. AFA.net, you can click on the Operation Christmas Child logo. That'll take you right to the page, and then you click on the green box, and that will open up the page that has the zip code finder there in the middle of that page. You put your zip code in, and like I said, I'm here in New York. I entered my zip code, and I'm looking at a dozen, if not more, Operation Christmas Child drop-offs within a couple of miles of me. So I'm excited about that. April,
Absolutely.
Thanks for all that you're doing.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege to get to serve God in this way.
Amen.
Thank you.
And tell my buddy Chris Swanson hello for me. Chris and I roomed on the same floor at Moody Bible Institute together.
No way.
Our freshman through junior years. So,
oh my God, he sits about 10 feet from me, so I'll have to tell him hello.
Yeah, just go thump him on the back of the head and say, that's from McCullough, and see what he says.
I definitely will.
Yeah, just take your little finger and flick him right on the back, of, or his earlobe. That's even better. Flick his earlobe and say, Kevin McCullough said hi. See what he says.
I definitely will. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thanks, April. God bless.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right, friends, that's easy enough, isn't it? I mean, there's not anyone listening or watching today that can't grab a shoebox out of. Look, here's how you do it. If you don't want to go to the dollar store and get a shoebox, sneak into your wife's closet, take out one of the pairs of shoes that she has in one of the shoe boxes, set the shoes off to the side, take the shoebox, pack it all up with the goodies. Then when she comes home, say, hey, see, I'm using your box, but it's for a good cause. And then if she gives you any trouble, you say, hey, it's for the kids. And what would God want us to do? Leave your pair of shoes in there? Or come to think of it, maybe just going to the dollar store and getting the shoebox is a better idea. It might create greater family harmony within the family unit. And then get online to AFA.net, click the Operation Christmas Child banner, click the green box, find the zip code finder. It's a little red button, long red button right in the middle of the page. Click on that, put your zip code in, and lo and behold, it will just surprise you with how many that you have near you, because it'll list all of them within 50 miles. And I've got like 12 within 4 miles of me. So it's pretty simple. But let's do that, friends, and let's bless these kids this Christmas time. I think it'll be an amazing thing. And you heard what April said. If you did one last year, she expects you to do 2 this year. Now, I didn't say to do that. April said that. So you got to take it up with her if you feel like you're, if it's too big of a task, because April was the one that said it. Kevin McCullough, glad you're with us, but please do it. Pack a shoebox, make it special. Pray for the child that's going to receive it, and then drop it off. It'll bless someone this Christmas. And after all, isn't that what Christmas is? It's the ability for us to give the love of the gospel of who Jesus is to people that are in need of it. And how more directly than the people of God doing what God calls us to, which brings me back to this whole atheist conversation. I wonder if any of these atheist groups are sitting there thinking about praying for the welfare of the kid. Well, of course they're not, because they don't believe that God does anything. They don't believe that he's actually there, that whatever he's going to do is going to be relevant to them. There are tangible differences between the way Christians behave and the way those who don't know the Lord behave. And I'm still a little bit confused about why these atheists would want to be a mirror copy of what the church is. Hence, they're starting these mega-churches for atheists across the country. Your thoughts on that? Let's go to Paul in Texas at 888-589-8840. I've got 2 phone lines open, 888-589-8840. Paul in Texas, you're up next with Kevin McCullough. Hi.
Hi. I didn't recall exactly. You were citing some quote from the 2 organizers, something to the effect of, we want to show that we're as good as anybody else, we're good, nice people, something like that.
Hold on one second. I think I can find that quote. one of the secular, the guy that, let's see. Hold on, I'll find it here. It was a quote from the secularist that lectures in one of the schools, and he said, Yeah. He said, hey, wait a minute. We are charitable. We're good people. We're good parents. And we're just as good as citizens as you. And we're going to start a church to prove it. That was the quote.
Okay, exactly. I can't speak for all the motivations to do that, but one of the primary is there's an intellectual hole in atheism, and that is when they proffer any form of morality, because
right.
They have no cornerstone or anchor in which to put it on. In other words, everybody knows if you're simply a series of billions of years of random genetic mutations of a prevalent species that just happens to exist on this planet right now, the argument of coming up with any kind of morality that's universal is pretty much laughable. So I think they're trying to act out a God-given need of significance and morality, and they've got no basis for it, but they figure...
And Paul, might it also be an attempt to assuage genuine guilt over sin? We'll talk more about that coming up. It's Kevin McCullough on AFA Today. Stay with us.